Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing something kind of simple but something I'm very excited about, and that is finally making some pins with some shrink plastic. Now I know if you were to get maybe like a to-go box or something that is the number 5 plastic on the recycling label, those actually work just fine for this kind of shrink plastic thing, but I don't normally get a lot of to-go containers. I don't eat out a lot. I try to eat at home as much as possible because I am poor. So I actually managed to get this set of 10 pieces of shrink eating plastic off of Amazon for, I want to say, around $8. I also got these pin backs for about $5 or $6. So with all that said, I'm going to take you through the process of making some really simple pins with me. So I got this shrink eating paper that is sanded on one side and like shiny and smooth on the other side. You're supposed to do any of your drawings on the sanded side. I have done a couple already. I also have a method that I wanted to show you guys for making a lot of pins really quickly. So basically, I'm just going to kind of take you through the process of making a certain kind. I traced this one because it's an option on the side. This one I just kind of freehanded a little cactus. I thought it was a little small, so I really needed something bigger to force me to draw bigger. And for this last one, I'm actually just going to do a little monogram pin, and I'm actually going to be using these monogram stencils that I got from, I think, Michael's a little while ago. As you can see, I've stamped with them quite a few times, so I'm just going to get started on that. Alright, so I think I've finished up. I've colored in all of these using various kinds of Sharpie markers because the instructions said Sharpie markers or colored pencils would work best. So I just whipped out my good old Sharpie bucket and went at it. I tried to do some shading and, adding in some different colors in places, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but I think it kind of turned out okay. I'm pretty happy with the way all of these look right now. I'm also going to try something kind of interesting using the Cricut that I got for Christmas. I want to see if I can actually print multiple kinds of pins or pin shapes onto one piece of shrink plastic. So let's try that out. Alright, so what I'm having the Cricut do right now is write out something that I would like to have on the pin, and then afterwards it is going to cut out that shape. So right now it's actually just writing out BRIY as the channel name and just its regular pen. And now I release. And I'm actually going to send it back in to cut. Then release. And I should theoretically be able to peel this right out. Looks like we got one stubborn side here. Alright, just a little peeling, got it all set. So I'm actually going to fill in where it says BRIY, and then I'm about ready to bake everything. Just as a quick side note, while I'm filling things in, I like to have a white piece of paper underneath, and that's just because it's really hard to kind of see the lines through the clear paper. So when I have the white underneath it, it's just a lot easier to get a better view of what exactly you're supposed to be filling in or tracing, or whatever the case may be. So once again, I'm just going to kind of finish up this these last couple letters, cut out the other guys, and pop them into the oven. Alright, so the directions say the oven needs to preheat at 325, which I have done. It says it should be in there for about 1 to 3 minutes. Unfortunately, I do not have a window on my oven, so I'm probably just going to check on it every minute or so. It also mentions that they might kind of curl up, so once we take them out, we have like 30 seconds or so to make sure they lay flat or to lay something flat on them. So I have 4 different designs here, and hopefully at least one of them comes out. So let's take a look and see what happens. Oh, they're so little. Okay, let's get them out. Alright, pull that out. This is the most awkward thing I've ever had to film in my life. Okay, I wonder if I can just kind of press them flat with my oven mitt here. Yeah, that kind of worked. Okay, wow, that went way faster than I was expecting. Good on me, I guess. So I'm actually just gonna let these cool for a little bit, and then I'm going to, ooh, focus. Then I'm going to come back and actually attach the pins. Something I didn't really think about while I was making these was what side I actually wanted them to be displayed on. So obviously we were meant to draw onto the rough side, and then there's a possibility that when it shrinks that it still has that kind of rough look to it. And for the ones where there's no writing, I can definitely flip them over and have the shiny side up, which is what I think I want, especially for this rose and maybe this cactus as well. They still have like that shiny look to them, but for the ones that I've written on, I don't really have that ability because obviously when I flip it over, it looks worse. Not to mention this gold looks ridiculously ugly from the back. It's just kind of brownish. So I'm thinking that I'm going to glaze over these a little bit. I'm going to leave these plain and as they are, and I actually think I'm going to flip these over, paint some white onto the back so that they're more of a solid color because they are still a little transparent, and add like a Mod Podge or something shiny over top just to kind of smooth it out and give it a more clean and finished look. Alrighty, now it is time to attach our pin backs. So I got these kinds of pin backs with the, I think it's called a butterfly clasp. Probably something we're all pretty used to seeing. It's just got like a flat little base on it and a pin, and you stick the pin into the hole of the butterfly clasp. It kind of gets stuck in there, and then you can pinch again to release, and it's out. So all I'm going to be doing is popping some hot glue onto this flat bit here, and just flipping it over right to the center of the pin that I am using. So I'm going to do that now. Looks like all the pins have their backs. And all that's left to do is to try attaching them to something. So I'm going to go grab a bag and see how well they stay. If you want to be sure that your pin doesn't wind up too small, when I was reading more in depth into the directions, it says that the Shrinky Dinks will actually shrink 3 times the size. So if you want a 1-inch large pin, then you should make your design 3 inches large when you are drawing it. So I believe this one was 2 inches, and it's just slightly under 1 inch if 2 fingers are an inch in this case. But I still think it turned out pretty cute, just maybe a little on the small side. And there we go, we have all the pins. I think they actually turned out pretty cute. I really didn't think this was going to be a project that I enjoyed doing so much, but I thought it was really cool, really fun, and just something a little bit different. I used to really love pins when I was younger, and I kind of got out of it as I've grown up a little bit, but I think I'm starting to fall in love again. So if you like what you saw, feel free to like and subscribe, and hopefully I can see you next Sunday for another crafty video. See you then. Bye-bye.